Yo, yo, yo. I gotta change my intro, man. I keep saying yo, yo, yo. Big up to everyone. Welcome to the Blue Lounge. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic evening. We should be having a fantastic evening because tonight we have a special guest with us on the Blue Lounge. You know, I don't bring you regular people. I bring you the best of the best, the best of the best. You know, the best of the best in the Chelsea community, and I'm proud and honored to have with me tonight worldwide Chelsea himself on the channel. Big up to you, my man. Welcome to the Blue Lounge.
Listen, man, thanks first of all having me on. It's been pending, it's been overdue. It's always my fault, by the way. I should have come on a lot earlier and I should be on a lot more. But trust me, I won't be here just for once. I'll be here a lot more times. But thanks for having me on.
This is your channel away from your main channel. You know, classify this as your second channel, if we can use that phrase. Listen, it has been a long time in the making. For those of you who know, you know, and for those of you who don't know, me and Worldwide Chelsea have been, friends for quite a long time. Since I started this YouTube channel, and since he was in his early stages of his YouTube channel, we've been communicating, we've been talking, we've been brainstorming together. So it's really, really good for me to finally have him here on the Blue Lounge. Eric, big up to you. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic because obviously we have a very special guest, and it's been a long time coming.
Big up to you, man.
Looking forward to. I'm sure he has no idea who I am, but I've been.
I've seen you in the comments a lot of times, bro.
Oh yeah, okay.
I know who you are.
Yeah, I've been stalking him a little bit, but yeah.
Listen,
conversation.
Listen. If you want to get good quality Chelsea content, you got to be stalking, as you said, Worldwide Chelsea. I'd like to say subscribing, following, and liking, and sharing his content. But we can do stalking. We don't mind. Listen, let me say hello to some of the legends we have in the chat. We've got Luke Mudway, big up to you. Welcome to the chat. Ilias, always a pleasure to have you here. Jose, CFC, big up to you. Welcome. CC, also aka Big Papa, welcome to you. Big up to you. Listen, Miss Melina, you only come when your friends are on my channel. I don't know what's up with you, Melina. Last time I saw her is when I had more Haida on here. She came on, she contributed to that stream. Now I've got you on, she's here, and then I'm not going to see her again. So, Melina, big up to you and welcome to the Blue Lounge. It's good to have you here. Maybe I'll have you on next time we play Arsenal. We'll see. Abdul B, big up to you. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. I hope you guys are all doing well. Listen, since you're all here, let me get some of the admin work done. Do me a favor, and everyone in the chat, type in #CFC. #CFC. If you want to send a question to Worldwide Chelsea, to me, to anybody in the panel, we'll be giving you an opportunity to do so. This is like a free super chat. If you're not familiar with the Q&As, this is a free super chat that we will be giving to you. You can use it to comment, or you can use it to ask a question in the chat. So type in #CFC, and we will be addressing your comment, your question, as and when you are selected. You can always bypass the free super chat by actually paying for one, but that's up to you. So free super chat #CFC.
So did they put the question and then the hashtag, or they just do the hashtag?
No, just #CFC, and then we'll pick one out at random, and then they get to ask a question.
Nice, man. I'm a big fan of this, man. Hold on.
Yeah, no. Just wait a couple of minutes until we get a few more people in there, because we've got 2 people currently entered. Once I get about 7, 5, 6, 7, I'll select one. MCIG is in the chat. Big up to MCIG. Look, before we get into the questions from the chat, I want to hear your thoughts in respect to the statement of Roman Abramovich yesterday. And I streamed about it. We talked for a good couple of hours last night, but we slept on it. We've kind of, thought about it a little bit deeper, a little bit harder, and maybe some thoughts have changed. Where do you stand in respect to Roman Abramovich's decision to sell the club and the way that he is going about doing it? Give me your thoughts on this, mate.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the UK in general are shambles. The people in power, the people that make the decisions, the people that talk a lot, the people that try to cause trouble. I feel in many cases everyone's a hypocrite in a certain way. And it's such a shame the way that this is all happening now. Obviously, funny jokes. Some of us will say maybe Roman might have a buyback clause after 2-3 years.
I
Never know.
Yeah.
No, but on a serious level, it's a very horrible way to basically end, the way he's done with this statement. Obviously, none of us wanted it like this. He has won everything. I think it's 21 trophies. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's around
20, 21, yeah, something like that.
Around
yeah.
that, basically, around that. Very, very good. The best owner, basically. Whatever you think of him on and off the pitch, best owner in terms of football in the world. I can tell you now, every single country is not perfect, people. There's always going to be issues around the world. And I just feel like he's just been made as a scapegoat. They've been dying for him to basically leave. Most of them are like Tottenham fans, if you know what I mean. So thank you, Wally. 19 years, 21 trophies. Thank you very much. But yeah, like I said, it's such a shame. Obviously, he wasn't going to be here forever. But I do believe he will find the right people in this club. We cannot become like Arsenal and Tottenham, and there's no way. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But other than that,
are you concerned though? Are you concerned that we might end up being in that position?
I am concerned because me and you, we look at news every single day. We try to bring everyone up to date with everyone, with all the news, and I've not seen one reliable Arab, for example. I've only seen American, or yesterday I saw an Egyptian who's a season ticket holder, which is quite a good sign. But I'm not seeing none of this big money. I'm seeing people with like 6 billion net, 10 billion net. Do we want that? Do we want many owners in one? Do we want like an Arsenal run? Not really, no. I'm not looking forward to that. So I'm a bit worried, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, my concern in regards to the club is we've been run by one individual for the past 2 decades. So when a consortium comes in, the whole structure of our club has to change to adapt to that. The decision-making process and the way the information is moved up and down the chain of command is going to be a little bit, not a little bit, it's going to be a lot different than what we actually used to, and that concerns me. Let me see how many we have on the list now. 3. Listen, guys. Hashtag CFC. There's 3 people in there. Let me pick one of you. Ilyas Abdul B. Let me pick one of you. Who's it gonna be? Ilyas, you're the winner of our first super chat. Ilyas, hit me up with a question, a comment, anything you want to say to Worldwide Chelsea. Let me know in the chat. Listen, do you understand, or do you agree with the way he's gone about in respect to giving the money to charity, and the way that he is looking to distribute the wealth of the club in a good cause rather than, him profiting from it? What do you think about it?
I spoke about it on my stream yesterday. I had one person actually bring a negative from it. Something about victims from the war, but because he didn't outline Ukraine, he was thinking, it might be about Russia people suffering. So it was a bit weird that people look into these things very, very skeptical, the way they think.
Yeah, to be fair, he said victims of the Ukraine war. So it could imply, because listen, in a war situation, you're going to have victims on both sides. There's going to be civilians who are going to be affected from this, who are Russian, as well as who are Ukrainian. I mean, we can't put the blame on a nation. It's more of a government. The Russian people are out there on the streets protesting, and they're asking for for this to be stopped. the Ukrainian people are suffering. So I think the way that he's tried to address it is, I mean, don't forget the guy is Russian, and he wants to address it in a way where he doesn't alienate anyone who's involved in this, Russian or Ukrainian. CC, do I have a question from CC? All right, you know what? I'm actually going to go and look in the comments because these people don't seem to be...
We do have a question from Elias now.
Is he? Has he put in?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. I have to go look for that. Do you think Chelsea will find a better owner than Roman Abramovich? All right. Take it away. Take it away, World Watchers.
Eric can go first, and then I'll go ahead. Eric?
All right, we can pass it to Eric. We can pass it to Eric.
Yeah, look, Worldwide Chelsea is the star of the show this right now, so I'm not going to say a lot. I won't say a lot. So the answer is no. Yeah.
That's very straightforward.
Wait. No. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. Why no? I mean, what is it? What is it that Roman did that no one else can do? I mean, why?
I mean, there's a lot of things, right? So he's a Chelsea fan. Well, okay, he became a Chelsea fan when he bought the club, but before he became a Chelsea fan, he was a football fan, right? He likes football, very passionate, very willing to make the tough decisions, very decisive. People were upset for a long time, and I was one of them, that, he doesn't give managers enough time. Why is he so quick to get rid of people? But it's worked, right? It works so well, and you can't fault him for being, ambitious and wanting the best for Chelsea. So a combination of all those things, and then you add the fact that he put his own money for how many years, because Chelsea are still not fully sustainable the way a club like Man United are, right? We can't depend on the marketing side of things, the shirt sales, the match day revenue to just fully sustain the club, because the Glazers haven't spent money. They haven't spent any of their own money. They're spending the club's money. So Chelsea are not in that position. And so Roman has put so much money over the years into the club. Obviously the figure, 1.5 billion, I think it was.
Yeah.
So all those, when you think about all those things and put them together, it's just a very unique situation. No owner is perfect. Obviously, nobody is perfect. But Roman was a very special owner. I don't think I can think of any other version in any sport. I'm struggling to think of any. So obviously it's possible. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but for me it's very unlikely.
Yeah, no, he was a very he is a very passionate Chelsea fan. He's a very passionate man when it comes to the club, the way he's run it, the way he's financed it, and the way that he feels about it, and the way that he speaks about it is something that he really, really, loves. Again, I'll put this question back to Worldwide Chelsea. Do you think Chelsea will find a better owner? Okay, let me just change it slightly. Let me just change it, because I think better is hard to find anyone better than Roman. Would we find one just as good, do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I already forgot his name. The guy that we were linked with as part of, not the Swiss guy, 86-year-old, the one recently. Is it Jeff? Not Jeff. What's his name?
Yeah, oh God, the English geezer.
Yeah, he had an interview, and he said that he's been following the Premier League, and he understands the fan base and stuff. I think we're talking about the same guy. I'll check it shortly, but basically there's an interview going out there where he's been following the Premier League. He's impressed with the fixed times on Saturdays, that we've got that slot, and our NBC's covering it, and now ESPN's covering it, and everyone's basically covering it. So listen, we just need people that understand that the fans have to be part of the situation. No, guys, not Jim. It's not Jim. I'm telling you,
but he has a season ticket. He has a season ticket.
Yeah. But from the outside, they own like the NBA teams and stuff. You know what I mean?
All right. Okay.
So they have that mindset that they're following the Premier League and they want to be part of that. And if they have that same mindset, okay, then why not? We need that ambition in the club. You're not going to find someone exactly the same as Roman, especially with the trophies. I don't think we're going to be winning trophies in the first few seasons, whoever buys us. And that's going to be a huge test for all of us, how patient we are. All of us going to say now, yeah, we're going to be patient. But when it actually happens in reality, trust me, there's going to be a few people that are going to be losing their minds because they're used to winning. So we need to be very careful. Yeah, Fraser,
Yeah.
that's the guy. I need to find who it is. He rejected Chelsea because of the stadium. We're looking for the stadium boost as well. 3 billion. He's not happy with the value. Let me find out his name anyway. But
All right.
yeah.
Well, while you're looking for his name, I just want to tell people in the chat we're going to be selecting another question. We're going to be answering C Sin's question in a second. We'll be selecting another question. So do me a favor. Hashtag CFC in the chat. Hashtag CFC in the chat. Worldwide Chelsea, in respect to the structure of Chelsea Football Club, it's going to be changing. When we get a new owner, it's going to be changing. Roman Abramovich is a person who got us to be very critical of our managers, our seasons, our performances, and Chelsea fans and Chelsea Football Club will always point out the deficiencies and the errors in our managers as soon as they happen, because we don't stick with managers for very long. Is that going to change? Do you see that being something that's going to be impacted? Do you think, firstly, Tuchel will stay? Will he be given more time? Will he be replaced straight away because there's a new structure, new system, new mindset? How do you see the management situation being addressed with the new owner?
Yeah, see, I think it fully depends on also who's above Tuchel as well. So like the likes of Marina, Bruce Buck, all these guys will have to play a part as well. There was also a report saying a lot of people saying that Marina will leave and stuff like that. But if Marina goes, there'll be a huge hole for someone to come and fill in. So there might be always like an interim kind of year where we get the new owners in, understand the full situation where the club will go towards. Whether, if we have more than 2-3 people owning us, there's going to be a lot of decisions to be made together. You might not see signings like Lukaku happening because some of them might be arguing with each other. So a lot of things will change. But Thomas Tuchel isn't safe either, because they might just want a certain style of play that maybe Thomas Tuchel isn't that, if you know what I mean. But I do believe everyone will get a clean slate. I do believe everyone will have that 1 year to show what they can bring to the new owners. But it's going to be very difficult. Obviously, me and you will be covering in the next few days what's going to be happening. I think in principle, someone will be decided in principle, but the paperwork and stuff and all, getting everything done will take months. It's like buying a house. It doesn't get done over a weekend. It takes us months. So I'm sure we'll hear and understand the business side of who's going to be coming in for sure.
Yeah, Eric, do you want to get on this question?
Yeah, I guess I can. I think Worldwide Chelsea pretty much summed it up, but not much to add. Roman is difficult to replace. How would a consortium, make decisions? How would that work? Would there be some kind of vote? That's
Yeah.
how would the ownership? Who would have the most shares in the club? Things like this. It's going to be very complicated. But hopefully we get a single. I prefer a situation where there's one person at the top. That's my preference. It would need to be somewhat like someone whose net worth is like Kasim. Worldwide Chess was saying. The money that I've been hearing from some people. Yes, obviously being a Chelsea fan is fantastic. Being a season ticket holder, but if you don't have anywhere near the kind of spending power that Roman did, I'm not sure it's the wise thing to do to, go for someone like that. And I'm sure Roman is thinking about all these things. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I agree. I think there'll be a lot of changes made. And there's people asking about Marina, about the way the club will be structured. I think the manager will probably be the last thing that will be addressed. There'll be so much that needs to be addressed before we get to talking about the manager and whatnot. Guys, put your questions in the chat because the link isn't working properly. I'm getting a lot of duplications in my results. So anyone's got a question, just stick it in the chat, and we will try to get through as many as we can. I do apologize, but I'm getting a lot of duplications in the app. So stick your questions in the chat. No need to put CFC. Bobby, Luke Mudway, anyone who wants to ask a question, just stick it straight in the chat. In regards to the whole situation with the transfer market and the transfer window and Chelsea moving forward, worldwide Chelsea, how do you see the next few windows? Do you see? I mean, because we're talking about players who may not extend their contracts right now because of the uncertainty surrounding the club. The likes of Rudiger, who up until this statement, I had it on from good sources that the deal or the signature was about to be made. While now everything's gone quiet in respect to that because of the situation the club is in. So if we don't get the investor that we want, if we don't get the big investor, if this drags on for longer than we think, what impact do you see it having on our club? Worst case scenario and best case scenario. How do you see it?
Yeah, see, this is why I believe people like Marina will have to stay for that one season at least. Simply because the players that we're looking at, like your Tuchel, your Koundés and stuff, might be out of reach if the new guys don't want him. But at the same time, there are opportunities that will arise. You got players like Rafinha who, if Leeds get relegated, his fee goes down to like 10 to 20 million pounds. You've got players like Dembele on a free transfer. So there's always going to be for and against, basically. If things don't go our way, there's always going to be players that we can definitely buy for sure. Maybe not the ones that we expected as first targets. But as long as Declan Rice don't come in for 100 million, I'm not too angry with that. We got Couch, man.
What up? What's going on, Sadiq? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yes, man.
Big up, Couch Critic. I'm glad you managed to conclude your show just in time.
Oh, he was live. He was live.
He was live. Yeah. He was live.
Me and Jem were just chopping it up. This same topics, man. But this is crazy, man. Sadiq, honestly, I don't think it's going to be Marina. If anyone stays on, it's probably Petr Cech in terms of succession, because Marina's just too close to Roman, right? Like,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
and she's so important to all of his businesses, right? Like, she was with him from before Chelsea, So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I agree with you. I don't think that we should be thinking about moving away from the structure that's already in place. We just have to slowly, move it, just for the reasons that you said, like this idea that we call this new owner comes in and we just like revolutionize the entire department is not going to happen. Like, we need to be thinking about what the summer holds for us as far as a club, and what players are coming in, what players are going out. Like, that's very much moving parts that are going to be very hard to negotiate with a new ownership coming in as well. So
yeah,
it's going to take a slow build, Yeah.
Just give me 1 second. I just got to do something in the chat. All right, guys, do me a favor and be respectful in the chat. Especially when they're a moderator. I can't believe it. Well, that privilege has been taken away now. Please be respectful in the chat, guys. Listen, I wanna address some of the questions in the chat. I think there's one here from Bobby Fairview. He's saying, can Chelsea Football Club ever be run for a profit club? If not, does the consortium still work? Does that consortium still work? All clubs are run as a profit making organization. They're all run like that. Some are more leaning towards success trophies, titles, and some are leaning more towards balancing the books. And this is one of the problems, Bobby. For us, we want to see a Roman style of organization where we win the trophies and make the money, rather than just make the money and be Tottenham. That's my point of view. Worldwide, Chelsea, take it away. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, every single club is definitely for profit. We want someone like Roman simply because, you look at Arsenal's ownership. Are they really focused on the club, or are they focused elsewhere? They're looking at other sports as their main income is on. Just take Arsenal's brand, for example. Arsenal, they are still a big club, guys. Regardless of the trophies and stuff, they are, a very, very big brand. Not bigger than Chelsea, of course, but everything they make, they don't really get that help that the way Chelsea actually buy transfers as well. If you know what I mean. We still net spend does play a huge part in it. We do sell players for a good price. Marina does a good job on that, but we still get good players as well. I think only Arsenal spent this season, on top of my head, I think it was 100 million or something like that. So we want owners that going to be focused on our club, and that's the whole point of the first subject that we spoke about as a fan. We want someone that has, some actual love for the club, the way Roman did.
Yeah. Couch, Eric, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I like this question. I think this is an interesting one because I think what he's asking is do we have the turnover and revenue to be operating as a for-profit club? Like we don't have a stadium in place right now.
Yep.
We operate at a loss unless we're winning Champions League and we're winning the leagues and stuff like that. So it's going to be very hard for somebody to come in and siphon money out of this club. You're just going to be hard pressed to do that. There's no dividends coming if we don't win, if we don't, build a winner. So I think that this is the part of the vetting that is so important. And the reason why Roman was so special is because he didn't care about the money. He was just like, whatever. Oh, we lost 271 million. Cool. Here's a check. See you later. Goodbye. If somebody else comes in and sees that, and this is the worry about consortiums too, because when you're thinking about a consortium, you're thinking about one person who has their own ambitions for the club. So say, Vies comes in and he's thinking about like just building this dynamo of a club. And then he's got Boli who's thinking about, the corporate brand and like expanding that and, being good with shareholders and whatnot. And then you have another guy that's kind of like, okay, what's the bottom line? How much money are we bringing in? What's the revenue? When it comes time to make these decisions about, player personnel and bringing in a player, you look at, even Man City. Man City is quick. They look at a player quick. The guy's signed. You got a consortium of people that you have to consult and figure out where their motivations are and what their angles are. By the time we get to a decision, we're on to the next player now because he's gone. So this idea of Chelsea being owned by a consortium is murky waters. Like, I'm not saying that it's not something that we can make work for ourselves, but it's not exactly something that you can look at and be like, yeah, we should be fine. We should be fine. It's a lot of Roman was a single owner, right? Like any decision that came down, it was like, this is how it's done.
Yeah.
Whereas, you have 4 or 5 different hands in the cookie jar. It's a little bit different, right? So, yeah, I don't think that Chelsea can be operated as a for-profit, club. I hear what you guys are saying, but like, I think the question he was asking is can a group come in and think that they're going to be making money off of Chelsea, and then in turn put money into their pockets based on that? And I don't think that that's possible, given the current structure of the club. We build a stadium, we start doing some other things, maybe, but not right now.
Yeah, work in progress, definitely. Go on, Eric.
Yeah, to Couch's point, if we had the new, brand new state-of-the-art stadium, maybe this would be a problem, because it would be more appealing for certain kind of owners who would like to profit from Chelsea. But in that sense, maybe it was a good thing that we haven't, renovated the stadium and things like this. But I think, there's nothing that indicates that Chelsea is a club to, buy and make profit from. Like, it's just not the way things have been going. So it would be very difficult for me to see an owner come in and spend the amount of time, and put in the effort required to then make it possible.
There is one thing that Chelsea Football Club does have that could be used as a tool to generate a lot of revenue if utilized correctly. Yes, we don't have the bums on seats. We don't have the capacity in the stadium, but we do have a good player manufacturing site in Cobham where we are able to produce good talent.
Yep.
And sell them, and so we do have that, and that is something that Roman has built that will continue to bear fruit
That was useful
long
in
after he's gone. Listen, Borja is in the works. You get me? I mean,
He's probably going to get sold.
No, hopefully not. Hopefully not.
I was speaking strictly about, obviously, the owner profiting from the club. Yeah,
I understand. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one thing that a lot of owners do is they take a percentage of the sales of players, and that goes into their profit margin. So it can be used to generate revenue. Look, I want to address another topic because, Worldwide Chelsea is here for time, and this is a topic that is currently making the headlines today. And to be fair, more information was due to come out this evening. Unless it's come out since I've gone live, I haven't seen it. There hasn't been anything specific. But the Super League is apparently back on the horizon for some of the big clubs, and apparently the Super League is going to come on with a different structure than it was initially intended before. It will have a 2-league tier system, so there'll be promotion and demotion from 2 leagues, and these leagues will be fed in by the national leagues. Apparently, I mean, the whole blueprint isn't been too clear, and there's talks about this. There's talks about the way this is going to work. Apparently, a lot of the big clubs that were initially in that first draft are still in it. Interesting that Arsenal and Tottenham have been not mentioned so far. However, this is something that is unclear, and it's in the works. Now, is the Super League in any way, shape, or form an evolution or replacement to the current system that we have? And could it be the way forward, or are we all against it regardless of how it is going to be pitched? And Worldwide Chelsea, I want to get your thoughts on this to start us off in regards to this discussion.
Yeah, just before I get into that, I just want to say, the price tickets that went up at Chelsea. I sat around there in the West End recently, I think, for the Lille game. Yeah. And I can understand why it's a huge increase, by the way. The layout, the seats, you get everything private. I'm telling you now, it's like a sauna, basically. You just chilled there. Obviously, the price increase doesn't make sense, but in terms of the value going up, definitely I can see why Chelsea have put it up there. So I want people to understand why the ticket price in that stand has gone crazy. Even though I don't agree with the amount that it's gone up to, but I understand why it's gone up. But yeah, the Super League, first, I was against it initially. But there's many reasons why I'm kind of slowly trying to open up to it. Obviously, if you're from UK, London, you don't want it to happen. Simply, the game is the game. You go on the weekend, you watch Chelsea, this, that. But now the football world is increasing every single day. We've got international fans. They want their teams to be coming abroad. They want to see different things happening. And at the end of the day, money runs the whole world in the football world right now. It's not about passion. You don't see guys stay at one club and it's the same. Also, when you look at media, BBC, ESPN, they were slating Chelsea owners, and now they want our help for the protesting again for the Super League. I've seen Gary Neville talk. Chelsea fans should be looking at this thinking, why should we even help? UEFA ain't perfect. They're going to be keeping 51% of TV rights and 49% goes to the clubs. There are things that are adding up, making you think, like, why should we stick with the current, rules? And also away goals, maybe to you guys, it might be not all that. For me, I enjoy away goals. Basically, it's one of the most important things. The only bad thing I could say is the feeling of playing the big clubs more regularly isn't going to feel the same in the long term, if that makes sense. So playing Madrid once in a blue moon is special than playing them, every other couple of weeks or whenever it is or however it works, basically. That's the only thing I can see. But like you said, they're coming up with new ideas. I don't think we should be fully against it. But at the end of the day, football is just going to be about more money, more money, more money. And wherever that goes, it is looking towards the Super League, by the way.
All right. I'm a little bit different on my in my thinking. Let me hear from Couch and Eric, and then I'll give you my thoughts. You know what? I'll leave Eric. I'll leave Couch last. Let me hear from Eric.
I already turned on my mic, man. Come on, dog.
All right. So out between you. I don't care who wants to go next. Go.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go first. Yeah, Super League. This is a topic that has been discussed many times, and it's actually very interesting to think about how long ago people started talking about it. It didn't just start happening a few years ago, but I believe that it will happen at some point. In some, whatever it looks like when it happens, is going to happen in some shape or form. And my issue with it was not, because of the obvious things that people say, people are greedy. It's just all about money. I was looking more about, competition, entertainment. Some people find some things entertaining that I just don't find entertaining, The American style of no relegation, there's no jeopardy. You just start again from scratch. Obviously, it's different. In America, the culture is different. But in Europe, it's just not something that people enjoy. So that was one of the major things. I think there are many things I could talk about, but
Eric,
yeah,
the things you mentioned are accurate as of the last draft.
Yeah,
this draft is different. Yeah,
that was the main thing for me. It needed to be something that was more thought out. It couldn't just be this ridiculous idea of what they were proposing initially. So I think it will happen. I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, like Worldwide Chess was saying. It's just about how they do it. And we'll see how, financially. And something else as well, which is very big, is the fixture congestion. I think that's the biggest thing. Because it is just one competition after the next. It's like every year there's always something new coming out. So I don't know how it's going to work. Obviously, the players are the main assets, so it makes sense. And, the players who are not happy with the fixture congestion, would they be willing to, reduce their wages by 50%, 60, 70%? Would they be willing to do that? So these are the things you have to consider. But in terms of just, like what Worldwide Chess was saying, entertainment, competition, why not, as long as it's done properly. I think I can be in favor with it.
Spot on. Couch, I'm going to give you 2 minutes because Worldwide Chelsea will be leaving.
I'll stay until 8. I'll stay until 8 for Couch. I'll stay.
All right, go on.
Yo, but I don't even know. You guys didn't leave me anything. Like between Worldwide Chelsea and Eric, like what more could be said? There's more.
Okay, I've got more to say.
Mo will drop some knowledge, I'm sure. But like for me, it's I share the same opinion as Eric and Worldwide Chelsea. It's just like you
told me you're against it.
What do you mean against the Super League?
Yeah, before the stream, you told me you're against it.
Of course I did. What I said was, and what I am saying is that like it's inevitable. This is coming. Whether or not it goes through UEFA or this breakaway group with like Florentino. I don't think it's going to happen with them. I think it's going to happen with whatever that club championship thing that they did on the summers with these like all the big teams playing all over the globe and stuff like that. I think that is what the Champions League is trying to morph into. They want to move to that sort of like arena, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I'm kind of like of the opinion that, like Eric said, which is an excellent point. If we're looking for top quality, high end football, and we're putting as is right now, we're not seeing great football. Like let's be honest. Like the games that we were seeing, even with the high level opponents, it's not been great, and it's not because the players aren't good anymore. It's just because these players are being run into the ground consistently. Come out of the Euros, play a whole whack of games. They did the the Continental League or whatever it is now. Like
conference league. Yeah.
I don't really mess around with them lower leagues and stuff like that. But like all of this stuff is part of just like bringing down the quality of the football. So if we're real football enthusiasts, then we can't be for this unless we start seeing a restructure in the way the games are being doled out right now. Like Chelsea, look at what we do in the Christmas period and like where we are right now. These guys are knackered, man. Like you're not seeing top level quality football, and all those years with Chelsea, everyone's like, oh, Chelsea's so boring, they just sit back and absorb pressure and they hit you on the counter. They had no choice, like that year with Jose Mourinho, 2015, when we won the title, we were flying the first half of the season, flying. And then come January, February, the team was just so dead tired. We had to sit back and just absorb pressure and hope we can hit teams on the counter. And if that's the type of football that they want to see with the Super League, then yeah, by all means, go ahead and do it. But either you allow for bigger squads, obviously, like I'm talking upwards of like 30, 35 players, and not just like youth players, like I'm talking about like professional, like high level football players. Or you're just gonna see people with hamstring injuries here, Achilles injuries here, like all of that stuff is just gonna be more commonplace, and I don't want that. I want to see quality football all the time.
All right, this is what I want to add to it. Fantastic points from everyone. This is what I want to add to it. The Super League is gonna be an independent entity because UEFA and FIFA are against it. So therefore, if you are in the Super League, you're probably going to be kicked out of the other European competitions. All right? So we're going to be playing in the Super League. That's what they're going to be playing. So as far as I'm concerned, that's better quality games because the players are not going to be playing these 60, 70 fixtures a season kind of games where they are injured, where they are being overplayed, overworked. So we're going to get better quality of football in the Super League. We're going to get better quality competition in the Super League. We're going to get better teams playing football in the Super League. The teams themselves are going to be rewarded a better chunk of money in the Super League than they are going to be rewarded in the Champions League, in the Premier League, in whatever league they're playing in. Because this is a tournament or this is a league run by the clubs for the clubs. Now, eventually, UEFA and FIFA will have to find a way to integrate with the Super League. Because if they allow it to be independent in that way, they're going to lose out. Because who's playing in the UEFA Champions League now? There's no Real Madrid, there's no Barcelona, there's no Chelsea, there's no Ajax, there's no Paris Saint-Germain. Therefore, those leagues, the Champions League has been devalued. Therefore, they have to do something to merge with the Super League. In my opinion, the fact that they have made it a two-tier system, and again, the information is still coming through. So once it becomes clearer, we'll be able to make a better decision. I'm just talking about from what I know so far. A two-tier system with relegation from the first to the second. And also a feeder system where all the leagues are able to feed in to the second tier and also advance into the first tier. For me, that stops us because we had a problem with grassroots football being developed. This allows it to happen, so it stops people who are against it because of that to have that as their bat to be bashing the Super League with. I was 100% against the previous version of this Super League. This one Let's wait and find out what is exactly being proposed by this. I know in the end of the day, it's money-making scheme for the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, the clubs that are in problems right now. I know it's going to be a money maker for the clubs, but as far as I'm concerned, I'd rather have the money come into my club than to go into UEFA or to FIFA for hosting and regulating these tournaments and getting the sponsorship deals. And us as clubs, I'm not really getting the benefit, and we're not getting the joy that we require in respect to prize money, in respect to scheduling, in respect to officiating. So I'm all for the Super League if it's done correctly in that way. And I know not everyone's going to be happy with me saying that, but
I'm out for it. Just because I think that it's, if you're talking about like leaving the Premier League to join the Super League, like, because it's kind of like probably a hollow threat. But if you're talking about leaving the Premier League to join the Super League, yeah, the games would be scintillating for like the first 5-6 years, or playing Real Madrid every couple of weeks or something like that, or whatever they decide to do. I just don't think that like overall the appeal is going to be there. Like, I like playing English football in England.
Do you enjoy watching Chelsea play against Liverpool, Man United, Man City?
Yeah.
Did you get bored from it?
I also enjoy seeing Chelsea play against Norwich and Everton, and like, I just love English football. It won't though, because that's what I'm saying.
You will continue to enjoy watching it, even if it's Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan. You will not get bored of it, because you didn't get bored of watching this. You won't get bored of watching that.
Yeah, but that's a completely different competition, though, right? Like, this a high stakes poker game versus like just playing gin rummy with your friends. Like, I like gin rummy. I like the fact that like we can see a team like Leicester come up and just bite you. Like the English Premier League is a great league for that reason, right?
This channel does not condone any form of gambling. Just want to say that actually. It's haram. All
right, fair enough.
No. I get what you mean. It's levels of competition, and there's higher and lower levels, But I think Worldwide Chelsea mentioned this point about the level of competition. I think the level of competition is important when it comes to the fitness of the players and the ability for them to perform. They will perform. They will play better when that schedule is going to be reduced a little bit. Listen, Worldwide Chelsea, I want to, because I know we've already gone over the time you allocated for this, but I want to ask you this. And I asked every guest that I've brought onto the show this question, and I'm going to ask you as well. As a Chelsea content creator, as a fan channel, as someone who's active on social media, I think you are one of the oldest ones in respect to the amount of time you've spent doing this that I've had on my channel. What advice can you give anyone who is, thinking about starting a YouTube channel, who has started a YouTube channel, who is looking to, dabble in this social media world? What advice can you give them?
My main two advices are: when you're popping, when you're doing really well, don't take for granted, because on YouTube there'll be times where it goes down, and it's not because it's your fault, it's not because of your content, it's not because of your quality, it's not because of anything like that. YouTube, as I've spoken to you, Mo, behind the scenes, the algorithm can go with you, it can go against you. At the same time, you also need to be consistent. So you need to try to upload every day, every other day when possible, and basically find a time zone that fits your fan base. So for me, I prefer to do it around 4 p.m. till night, because I have a US fan base. That's my guys. So you need to understand your fan base. You look at your analytics, you understand your actual viewers, where it's coming from, and just make sure you interact if you do live streams, man. You need to understand that if you do live streams, it's very difficult to do videos. So I'm trying to do both. As I told you behind the scenes, I'm talking to YouTube. It's not really going well because the subscribers are a bit confused the way it's going out, because from live to video to video to live, it's not really helping out. So yeah, my main two is understand your fan base that's watching, what time zone, and keep it frequent around that time. So like you do around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. That's your time. And make sure you just keep going. Even when things are not going well, keep putting your content out there because it goes up eventually.
All right. Yeah, fantastic. And the second question in respect to this is, and I know you, so I know where you've gone through in respect to this. But for the people who maybe are coming across you for the first time, as a person from a minority group here in the UK, and you are supporting a club which is based in an English European country. There are people that will use your ethnic background against you and will try to attack you because of that. How do you react? How do you respond? What can you advise people to do who are in a similar situation to you? What would be the best way to overcome these kind of hurdles?
Is this in person or is this online?
No, online.
Online.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, if you saw me a few years ago, I used to go back at it. I used to respond.
I remember.
I do remember that.
I used to go back, trust me. So many accounts, I used to go at them. I used to expose and everything. I don't know if you lot had my previous accounts. I had 2 previous accounts back then. It used to be popular. Now I'm more focused on YouTube. But now it's just, if something comes in, I either try to expose it, try and make it awareness, or try to speak to them one-on-one. Because I'll tell you something now. I know it's not related to YouTube, but even on like Call of Duty, when you play and you actually talk to people that are rude, if you actually have a conversation with them and just show a bit of personality, they do, show a different side. They do apologize. They do say it's like a joke or whatever. You know how it is. It's just today's society. In real life, it's nothing like that when you go to the games. I've been offered tickets for free for the last 4 or 5 years from sponsors. Everyone's showing me love. Even match-going fans, they're always showing love. There's no problems in the stadium. But online, you're always going to get kids. You can't take it serious. It used to affect me when I first started YouTube back in like 2017, 2018, I'd say. But now, as you grow older, you understand situations. You can't let something affect you where they don't know you in real life. You don't see them every single day. You don't wake up and see them outside. They're not like your school friends or anything like that. Why take it too serious? They can't affect you. Maybe mentally you might think about it, but in terms of physical, you shouldn't be fazed by it. So it's difficult. I understand it's difficult sometimes because you might say something wrong that someone doesn't agree with. Like I saw someone on Twitter yesterday going against Roman for the stuff that he does off the pitch, basically, and he got slated because he wasn't an Asian. He was a normal white guy, if you know what I mean. So you got to be careful sometimes because the way people come at you, but don't take it too serious, people, man.
Fantastic. Worldwide Chelsea. Guys, Worldwide Chelsea, if you click on the title of this video and click on the name, it will take you to his channel. Do us a favor, subscribe to Worldwide Chelsea. Your Twitter is at Worldwide Chelsea.
I've got 2 Worldwide Chelsea.
Yeah, one with the L, one with the I. They both work.
Yes,
so.
Yes, you know. I've got that account back. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I need my previous one back at this rate. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
So
how did you get it back anyhow?
Bro, I'll be honest with you. I went
notification.
You don't want to know. I went on LinkedIn. I found the people. Trust me, I went in. Like
you chased it.
It's crazy. I lost 20k in 2017. I lost 26k in 2019. And I started this one. I couldn't be bothered to do it anymore, man. It's too long.
It's a lot, man.
But back then 20k is like 100k now. That's how it was. That's how the count would have went. But all I did was put a video from Sky Sports. I think it was Marcos Alonso's goal against Tottenham in Wembley the new stadium for the first time. And that got taken down in 2 minutes. He had like 400 likes in like 2 minutes, bro. It was crazy. Those are the days, man. But now there's new guys taking over. We've got Couch, we've got Mo, we've got people.
I ain't taking over.
Fast people. You know what? Listen. I mean, straight up. Stay consistent. Keep uploading.
Yeah.
I've seen people come up and down, man. Trust me, I've seen it. Like if you keep up, like Monster, all these guys, your time will come, people. Like you can't give up. if it was that easy, everyone will do it, man. Everyone will do it every single day. It wouldn't be the same. So keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, I haven't got Couch on my channel once yet. Well, trust me, we'll make it.
Listen. You're not gonna come in here and take my panelists, man. That's not fair. That's what I'm not having that. I'm not allowing that.
People from my channel, my panelists, and go meet up in Abu Dhabi and make their own stuff.
Yeah. No, listen. I gotta say something. I mean, banter aside, the Chelsea community is a very, very big and a beautiful community. Seriously, it could be better. But there's some good people in the community. There's some good people. There's some bad eggs. Actually, I just remembered. I forgot to buy some eggs. I went to the shop and I forgot to buy some eggs. There are some bad eggs in the community. There are some bad eggs. I'm not gonna call them out, but there's some really, really good people in the community as well. I've had the pleasure of meeting some fantastic people in the Chelsea community. Worldwide Chelsea being one of them. Matthias Armani, fantastic lad. The Grand Dam, great lad. Monster CFC, brilliant geezer. And hopefully, we will meet more people on this channel. I am reaching out and I am trying to bring people in, but as Worldwide Chelsea will tell you, it's not easy to get people to accept invitations.
You don't need people, bro. You got Couch and Eric.
Bro,
I'm telling you.
Listen. I'm calling it now. Worldwide Chelsea needs to do a show with the Couch Critic soon. Yeah, you managed to hook up
anytime. You don't know.
Listen, I don't even know where you're based. Apologies, don't be offended.
Yeah, you're based. I'm Toronto, man. For Rose.
No. I want to make sure.
Yeah,
so how many hours? 7 hours.
Yeah, about that. Where are you now?
London.
Okay, no, it's 5 hours. 5 hours.
Oh, 5 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, like I said, there are some bad eggs in the community. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not mentioning any names, but there are some. I'm not saying anything. Anyway, listen, guys, fantastic. We are going to continue. To talk about Chelsea and the Super League and Abramovich, but Worldwide Chelsea does need to go. So thank you very much. No, but you said 8. You said 8. It's 8 or 2.
Hour, bro.
You're good.
No, I'm
joking. You're good? No, it's just if you're good, we can continue. No,
I'm gonna come back. Listen, I'm gonna come another stream. Thanks for having me on, Mo. Couch, good to
pleasure.
Meet you. Eric, finally spoken to you. I've seen you for a long time as well. But yeah, big up all the comments, man. And Mo, I've not heard you say like the video once. I
don't need to.
You gotta tell them.
I don't need to. I got 37 likes. That's all right. Listen,
guys, come on.
No, my people are generous, man. I don't like to ask.
No, guys, push to 60 likes at least. The more likes, man, the more people come on, people, and make sure you guys subscribe.
You see that last comment there? Man, that's big. That's big.
He will donate it. He will actually donate it, man.
Hey, this guy donates to you? He's never donated to me. No, actually, he has like $2 one time.
Member of my channel for months, bro, and he.
Hey, Barana, man, you're betraying me, brother. You're betraying me.
Listen.
A lot of love, guys. Do me a favor, subscribe to Worldwide Chelsea, and make sure you check out his content on the regular. He is doing more video content with his streams, so go check them out. I'm actually thinking about doing the same.
You gotta do it, man. You gotta hit different ones.
Listen, Sadiq, for me, Ramadan, I'm not streaming in Ramadan. It's gonna be just because I can't. I mean, I stream at 7 o'clock. It's gonna be like iftar time, so I'm not gonna be able to do that. So I'll be doing just videos. So I'm trying to get the YouTube algorithm to recognize my content from now. So when I hit Ramadan, it's not gonna be too bad. But yeah, fantastic. Always a pleasure, my man. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, man.
Take care, brother.
Peace.
Take care.
Peace out. Oh, thank you. Listen, fantastic dude. Dude. You know what? Me and him have been talking for ages. And we've been thinking about doing collabs. And something happens and I can't do it. Something happens and he can't do it. we ended up going to the final, Carabao Cup final.
Nice.
And we're here today. So hopefully, we'll do this more often. On his channel, on our channel. We'll move forward. Guys in the chat, I'm gonna put the link in the stream. I'm gonna put the link for the stream. Bloody hell, man! I'm gonna put the link for the stream in the chat, and I'm gonna open up the stream for everyone. So anybody who wants to jump in, you are welcome to do so.
Can I ask you a question, Mo? I know we're gonna touch on this Roman thing. There's no way to ignore it, really. But
sure.
In terms of like ownership, like what kind of owner do you want? Like, do you want somebody that's gonna be like just fall back, sit in the background, and like just allow for the directors to run the ship for them, and they just bankroll it? Or do you want somebody that's like more like Roman, hands-on, making all the decisions based on his own sort of like ideology of football and whatnot? Like, what do you think, man?
Before I answer your question, Vermana, I was only joking, mate. I was only joking. You don't have to send a super chat. Thank you for the sticker. It's much love, much respect from you, and much love, much respect from me. So thank you for doing that. Big up to you. Couch, for me, I can't see anyone replacing what Roman has established. So anyone who comes in has two options: either to try to build something bigger than what Roman built in regards to legacy, or to try to build his own legacy, his own direction, which could be different to what Roman did. I would want someone to come in to give us the financial backing and the financial power to continue to go down the same path and the same route that we have been. I think
what sort of leadership though? Do you want somebody that's like more hands-on, or?
I'm coming to it. In regards to the way I want to see the club run, I want to see a little bit more consistency in the way that the club is run. I want to see the manager being given more time. As in the past, we've seen managers being replaced too quickly. I want to see more time given to our manager. Therefore, the owner that I want to see come in, I don't want them to be involved too much in respect to the running of the club, unless they have the passion that we had from Roman. So if this season ticket holder who is interested to buy the club wants to buy the club, then I don't mind him getting involved, because he probably knows a little bit about football that will enable him to make footballing decisions. But I don't want to bring in someone who's an 86-year-old Swiss or an American billionaire who really doesn't know anything about football and probably calls it soccer, and comes in and wants to.
Hold on. I'm saying
if.
But no, he actually does know football, from what I understand. Though.
I don't know the man. So if he does, I'm saying, if he does, and it's different. But if he doesn't, I don't want to have someone to come in and try to influence footballing decisions when they don't know about football. So the Marina Granovkaia shout outs, I'm actually for that, at least for a transition. I want to see Petr Cech stay, because Petr Cech reflects the history of the club as well as the future of the club. So whoever comes in needs to balance it out in a way so it doesn't take a role that doesn't suit him per se. Elias, you're donating another super chat. I need to learn these foreign currencies, man. Elias, I'm not sure that sticker is something that I like looking at, but it's all right. It's all right. Thank you for your super chat, man. Appreciate it. I need to find out how much these super chats are, man. Big up to you guys. Thank you for your donations. How big, how small, they're all appreciated. They're all appreciated. Yesterday, we had someone donate $200, and I thought he was trolling, and I misread one word in his message, and I thought he was trolling. I apologize. Again, I apologize. Thank you for that super chat. That's what I think. That's what I think. Let me have a look at what people have put in the comments. I just want a good owner that cares about the club. JJ Bridge, big up to you. Bobby Fairview. Owners do not want any Premiership clubs, so it isn't relevant. The issue here is for profit. versus not for profit. If it is for profit, you can forget the big name players coming in ever again. I see that. I see that, Bobby.
Good point.
Luke.
Good point.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point. Luke is saying, apparently the US and the Swiss guys approached Marina today to ask her to stay at Chelsea if they take over. Yeah, they also apparently asked for the price to be dropped by £2 billion. So we've got to wait and see what happens. Wally is saying Cech needs to stay, in my opinion. Brought in Mendy, and it's him who's been scouting to Tchouaméni. I feel you. Definitely, Petr Cech needs to be here for a little bit longer. I'm gonna put this on the screen because the other window is a little bit small. Let me read it here. Look, Mudway. We want an owner to continue what Roman has started, perhaps upgrade the stadium and infrastructure to move the club further forward. 100%. Totally agree. 100%. Totally agree. Yeah.
It's funny though, like with Wally, what Wally said, I think Cech has to be there just because he knows the Chelsea way, right? But in terms of like his role at the club, technical director, he's not experienced in that position, right? Like it's kind of weird that he's there. He's kind of just like a placeholder, right? Because yes, while he did find Mendy, I don't think that he scouted Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni's been scouted through Fabregas before Cech was even given the role as technical director, if I'm not mistaken. Or because I know his role has changed in the last like year or so. He's a little bit more pronounced in that role now. But like, yeah, I just want somebody. If we're gonna have Cech there, I want a sporting director who can actually, just put the structure of the club in order, where you have a guy that understands the philosophy of the club, understands what we want to do on the pitch, and can kind of like bridge the distance between the playing staff, the scouting staff, and what the owner's demands are. So that's kind of where I am. I want structure. I want somebody that can bring in structure. And for me, structure starts with a philosophy. And if we get somebody like that underneath the directors at the sporting level, I think that, we're in a better stead, to be honest.
I want to hear from Eric, but before I bring him in, I want to ask you this, Couch. We've not had a manager for quite some time. We've had a first-team coach, but not a manager.
Yep.
Could that be something that is changed?
That is a beautiful question. Well put together too. Yeah, I don't know. Do we see a lot of that now in world football, like actual managers? Like, who is a manager? A lot of what we're seeing right now is like head coaches, and then they have even at Liverpool, you can argue that as much as Klopp is titled the manager, he's really just a head coach. The decisions made about playing staff and whatnot, and who to bring in, who to bring out, is done above him. Pep Guardiola, yeah, he makes recommendations, but it's Tixi or whatever his name is, Bergeson, and his partner that are the sporting directors of that club that make the sales and the purchases, right? Obviously at the behest of Pep, but I mean, a lot of the negotiating and whatnot is done by them. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if it returned to the old way where we have managers. It's a lot to ask, though. Let's be honest. Like somebody to be sitting wearing that many hats, it is a lot to ask, right? But I wouldn't mind. I think Tuchel's up for the job, to be honest with you. Too.
Yeah.
I think that he would be a brilliant manager in the more traditional sense.
Yeah, for me, as a transitional period is about to kick in, you want to have someone managing the club with a little bit more accountability to be able to steady the ship, to be able to influence the decisions in respect to signings, transfers, as well as the day-to-day training and coaching of the team. Mm-hmm. So I think it might be something that we could do, for a period of time, with Tuchel, especially if we are looking to, give him a longer stint at the club. Let me hear from Eric. Eric, are you there? You still with us?
Yeah, of course I'm here. Of course I am. Yeah.
Let me hear your thoughts on this one.
Yeah. I think as we were talking about Marina and Tuchel, I was just thinking to myself that the last thing we want is someone to just come in and just, completely start, removing people, completely changing the way things are going immediately. Like, that's the last thing you want. So some kind of a slow transition would be the ideal situation, because that's the last thing you want as the new owner is to immediately give a bad impression of yourself, right? Because the fans will get on you. Chelsea fans will not they will not hesitate to do that, like Couch was saying.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important. Someone like Tuchel shouldn't be thinking about getting sacked as the new owner comes in. That's the last thing he should be thinking about. So I think it will be very smart of whoever takes over to just be very, careful with the way he does things. Yes, he'll want to change things. He wants to bring his own people, but there needs to be some kind of transition, for the fans, for everybody, all the, working, the playing and non-playing staff, right? Because that is just the sensible way to do things. I can't understand the idea that immediate change is, some kind of way forward. So that's the main thing for me. Hopefully,
and we're world champions, right? Like, we're world champions. Like, you don't really have to change too much. Just continue on this world championship path. Bring in a few more players. Build a stadium, and you're good. If the new ownership comes in and the first thing they do is say we're picking up where Roman left off, we're going to pick up this project, we're going to build a stadium, we're going to bring in a couple new players to help Tuchel, I guarantee you they are golden. Like, in terms of the fan base, I know I'd be all about it.
And the players as well, right? The players who are unsure about the future, unsure whether to sign new contracts. The way the new ownership deals with the situation could really help with that.
There's two things I wanna bring up. The second one is this question by Elias. He's asking, is Marina gonna leave? She is very close to Roman Abramovich. I'm going to address that, and then I'm going to go back to the owners. I don't think she will leave. I don't think she should leave. I think she needs to stay for a handover period, a transition period. And maybe if she handles her work and her role well, she could be offered a position from the new owners. It's something that could happen. But I don't think she will leave straight away, even with Roman, as the club is sold. I think maybe other senior members, Bruce Buck, etc., they'll be on the way out straight away. But in regards to Marina, because she has a more of a hands-on kind of role, we'll have to wait and see. But I have a feeling she'll be there for a transition. That's number one. Number two, in respect to the new owners, we all know when new owners come in, especially for a team the size of Chelsea, they would need to make a good impression. They will need to win over the fans because end of the day, it could be quite problematic for these owners if they don't win us over. And we can expect... Wow, that was loud. We can expect a good transfer window, a good injection of money for the upcoming transfer window. I know we'll probably end up losing a lot of players because of the uncertainty of the club, but I also think that this new ownership would be inclined to set us up with a decent summer transfer budget to try to steady the team and to steady the nerves of the players and whatnot. So, don't be too worried about the first window. We may have a very good window coming in regards to injection of capital, injection of money. If we are going to worry, we're going to worry about the following windows, depending on how well we do and what what this ownership is going to be like in respect to running the club. Let me bring in Gabriel. Gabriel, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. What's your thoughts on what we've talked about so far, mate?
Evening, lads. Yeah, to be honest, I've only just joined the stream because I was working. But big up, Dennis. I'm going to catch your recent stream with Jem. I'm looking forward to that.
It's really good. Really good.
I'm sure it is. And big up Eric and of course Mo.
Big up.
I was just whilst you guys were talking, it sort of dawned on me, and I had a bit of a devil's advocate type of thought. Right now, what constitutes a good owner? Because in some ways, we're seeing a good owner as someone who splashes the cash and doesn't really take into consideration the overall, balancing of the books. Because we have to confess that most of the 20 years since Roman has been the owner, there's been a deficit that has been patched up by his generosity, we could say. In terms of the overall infrastructure of the club, I know there's the issue with the Stamford Bridge expansion the plug was pulled when his, the beginning of the political sort of saga started, 3-4 years ago. I know Cobham has invested a lot of money in that as well, the youth project, etc. So I just thought, what type of owner do we want? Do we want an owner that is just going to come in and pump cash irrespective of ingoings and outgoings? And is that truly a sensible way to run a club? And what, again, I know it's different context, but do you remember with Leeds when they went down under their chairman, or not the owner, but he was the chairman, Ridsdale, I think his name was. Yeah. So do you get where I'm coming from? I'm not Roman bashing, not at all, but I'm just trying to think that are we maybe looking at the way a football club should be run in a way that because we've been spoiled through having a very sort of affluent benefactor, that actually, if it was a business, which is why I'm wondering why we're not getting many sort of serious offers to buy the club at the amount of money that has been mooted, because Chelsea's not a profitable business.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing, to be honest.
So it could be. It could be. You see, the issue that Chelsea Football Club has is the problem that surrounds the ground. The fact that we are playing on a ground that we don't actually own, or a pitch that we don't actually own, and the fact that it's quite small. Stamford Bridge is small.
40,000?
Yeah, in comparison to the investment that these people are putting in, this is an investment of one of the best clubs in the world, and the capacity of the stadium is quite small in comparison to the size of the club. Now, we all know this was something that we looked at a few years ago. We got planning permission to do something about it, but we never actually went through with it because of the political situation with Roman and him not being allowed in the country and whatnot, and it didn't happen. I think an investor coming in will be having a relocation or a rebuild of the stadium in the back of their head, so they'll be planning for that as they are making this transaction, because if they are going to invest into Chelsea Football Club, they're also going to be looking to have a good return on their investment, which will probably mean that they will have to spend a little bit more money in respect to buying building a bigger stadium. And how are they going to do that? Are they going to relocate to a different part of London? Are they going to try to work it out with the pitch owners and expand the stadium there? Will the council give them planning permission to do that? What's going to happen? It's a lot of headaches in respect to that. But it's something that they need to
something has to give them, isn't it?
It has to. So for me, this will also play a big part in respect to who is going to be looking at buying this club, because someone with connections to the UK will have a good awareness of how to handle the situation, while as maybe an Arab consortium coming in would take a little bit longer to do this because they will have to research this. They will have to pay people to find out for them, what's the procedure, how is this going to get done. They're going to have to make inquiries and whatnot, and it's going to take a little bit longer. However, from what I do understand is there is interest from a party that is currently not being mentioned. We may hear who they are tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, at this point in time, they've not been mentioned, but there is a party, and from what I understand, there is also interest from the Middle East. And again, it's talk in Arabic social media. So whether it's accurate, whether it's not, I have no idea. I'm not really too familiar with these accounts, but I've seen a lot of talk about Arab interest in Chelsea Football Club. So I think there is a good future when it comes to whoever's going to buy the club. No one's going to buy the club to lose money or to earn it badly. No one's going to do that. It's too big of a venture.
You know what I think good ownership is somebody that has the best interests of the club at heart, first and foremost. That's what good ownership is. That's what Roman was. Like, he obviously, like, we look no further than him, as far as good ownership goes. If you come into this club and they just take the baton from Roman. It's not about like siphoning funds. It's not about like, providing a bottomless pit of funds, because that's not what's been happening the last, at least since 2014, 2015, in and around there. We haven't really just been relying on Roman's, millions to bail us out. He has helped us out more than a few occasions since, but this whole effort, the last 8, 9, 10 years have been towards Chelsea being self-sufficient. So that still has to continue. We still have to work towards doing that. The next step is what I said before. The crucial step is getting a new stadium. That will help Chelsea operate self-sufficiently. If you can get a big stadium with corporate seating and all that stuff, you will certainly generate the kind of revenue that will support being self-sufficient. In the interim, what you have to do is just take the baton from Roman. Continue with the ideology of the club to put the best playing staff. I mean, we can argue that now, but put the best playing staff on the pitch and try and win as many trophies as you can. Doesn't mean that you have to be as ruthless as he's been with the managerial situations and whatnot. Like, maybe you allow for that to be your legacy, where you give people more time to show their worth and value. But I think ultimately what we want is just somebody to just take what Roman has done. And obviously, to be honest with you, he's done incredible work. Just thinking of the fact that he's forgiven the £1.5 billion. Like, if he were a different person and he took that on and he said, well, before you even buy this club, you have to repay me this, and now on top of that, it's another £3 billion to buy the club outright. The fact that he's extended this gesture to forgive the debt should give license for the new owner, if they have deep enough pockets, to just say, well, yeah, that's a great gesture. Okay, fine. The money that we would have been investing in, obviously repaying the debt, let's put it into building a new stadium. Let's just do that. You know what I mean? That is how you win over the supporters. That's how you take what Chelsea are now and take it the next step further. Any ownership group that comes in has to be invested in taking the club further. If you're not invested in that, then you're not the right ownership group, because this club cannot survive with the stadium that we have right now and the conditions we have. We can't continually rely on Cobham to, produce talent to, sell on and then, fund this football club. We have to be, at the position where we're self-sufficient and able to, compete with the bigger clubs in Europe right now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I just want one thing. I want to hear from some of these people in the chat, because link is in there. Click on it and jump on and let me hear your thoughts and opinions, because I seriously enjoy hearing your views. So if you don't have to use a camera. You can put an avatar And let me hear your views on the club, on Roman, on the Super League, on any of these topics that are currently making the headlines today. Click on the link and just jump on. You don't even have to get into a debate with us. Just give me your thoughts and opinions, and you can bounce straight out, and we'll discuss them and hear about it. Because I know a lot of you guys are quite vocal in the chat. I mean, I know, and you know if I'm addressing you. You guys are quite vocal in the chat. Some of you disagree with what I say. Some of you agree with what I say, and I want to hear from both of you, because if you disagree with me, come on here and educate me, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to be educated. I'm here to gain something, to learn something. So I want to learn from you guys. So if I'm saying something wrong, please come on and please tell me what you think, and why you think what I'm saying is wrong. All right. In regards to and smash that like button. Worldwide Chelsea said I didn't mention it, and I don't like to mention it because I know a lot of you guys do it anyway without me asking. But I thought, why not? Why not? If you want to hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. And if you want to subscribe, guys, I want to get to 10K, and I want to give one of you a brand new spanking Chelsea shirt with the World Club Cup badge in the center of it. So just get us to 10K. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the Blue Lounge. Let's get to 10K, and I'll be giving one out to you guys. Look,
Mo, can I just add something?
Yeah, go on. Add something. Go on.
Yeah. No, yeah, just from what Couch was saying. Couch. Or Dennis. I think, Couch, yeah.
Couch
I
is
think
fine.
probably one of the biggest contentious... yeah. I think one of the biggest contentious things that is going to occur going forward is around the Stamford Bridge issue, isn't it? Because we know part of the loss of revenue is because the stadium is too small. So, again, fans as a whole, maybe we've just got to accept, obviously Stamford Bridge is our home, but because of all the structure and all the housing around it and the tube station and whatnot, I know Roman had a brilliant plan, that beautiful stadium that obviously never got off the ground, as a way to try and, make it fit, like as best as they could and whatever. But, like the Chelsea Pitch Owners Association, etc. And so this is where I think going forward, whoever takes over the club, I think that's where it's going to be the biggest sort of contentious issue. So it's almost like, okay, like I said earlier, something's got to give, isn't it? Either we remain at Stamford Bridge, but then do we give up more sustainable success going forward, or do we just have to move with the times and accept that we need a bigger stadium in order to be self-sufficient and increase our revenue so that we don't need to rely on owners' sort of investment?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that a lot of the match-going fans will tell you is there isn't enough tickets per game. There isn't enough tickets per game. Whenever I want a ticket, I struggle to find it, especially for important games. The club sells out quickly. As soon as the tickets go up for sale, they sell out. And that tells you that there is so much income. There's a big chunk of revenue that the club is missing out on because of the lack of seats. And I think if we were to increase by, say, 15 to 20,000 the capacity to maybe 65,000 seat stadium, or maybe even more. I mean, if we're gonna make a bigger stadium, let's increase it to 70. Let's go up by 30. Let's go up by 35. Let's make it big, and let's get people access to these games. The club is missing out on a good chunk of money because of the size of the stadium. We are able to fill that stadium twice over per game easily. The Wembley final.
The thing is, it's not even the ticket prices, is it? Because
Now prices don't matter.
It's the food.
People pay.
No.
People
No,
pay.
what I mean is it's not just.
Yeah. You're gone. No.
It's all the additional costs that people are gonna, they're gonna go to the shop. They'll buy a trinket. They'll buy a shirt, a scarf. They're gonna buy a coffee. They're gonna buy a sandwich, or it's all that additional revenue on top of the ticket sales.
Yeah. And there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential. I mean, Worldwide Chelsea was talking about the Westview, the Westview stand. I've been there twice. That stand, the facilities that have been put in there, it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and imagine what the whole stadium with that kind of infrastructure will do for the club. Yes, it will cost money to build, but that money will be made back so quickly with the way that the club attracts fans and visitors and whatnot. VIP area, VIP seating, that will increase. The different suites, the different studios for the press and whatnot. There's a lot of different facilities that can be added to the stadium that will make it a massive investment opportunity. J25, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. What do you want to add? What's your opinion on the stories that have been going around today?
I just heard a news that they may not, the UK government may not sanction Abramovich. Is that true? Because
Yes.
Is it taking a long time? Is he taking as a process, or is he?
Yes, that is true. They may not sanction not only Abramovich but a whole bunch of people because they are unable to prove any criminal activity or any activity that is unethical, etc. Therefore, for them.
So, is there like a hope for Abramovich to keep Chelsea, or is it just like
no? No, look. The situation is in regards to the sanctions, as they have been put forward. There could be different ways. There could be different methods where they are going to restrict these individuals and their actions. So, is there hope for Abramovich? I don't think there is, because if there was, he would not have released that statement. He would have known what is going to be the case. So, and I think it makes sense for him, even if he doesn't get sanctioned, it makes sense for him to close his ties with the UK, because it's not going to be, this will keep popping up, if not today then tomorrow. However, what is clear is that any action against him may not happen very quickly. It may take a little bit of time for any action to materialize and to take place. Therefore, it gives him more time to finalize his deal and his sale of the club, which is naturally a very good thing for us, as it will allow him to possibly bring in the right investor of the right caliber. Because if we sell cheap, then we're going to get cheap. If we sell expensive, we're going to get expensive. We're going to get people who have deep pockets, and that is what Chelsea needs, really. People with deep pockets. All right. Anything else you want to add, J25?
Nothing. I just wanted to clarify because I just saw the news yesterday.
I don't even know if it's, sorry guys, I don't even know if, because sanctions come down every day, like you start squeezing the government, you just go further and further and further. Let's not forget that Roman also has friends in the UK government as well. Like, he's pumped a lot of money into the UK, and he's helped build infrastructure here as well, and he's helped make Chelsea one of the jewel clubs in Europe. So the UK government should be indebted to him as well. So as a sign of good faith, they haven't sanctioned him, but they have sanctioned Usmanov, the Everton owner. I don't know if it's because he has some sort of like corrupt business practices. Go ahead, sorry.
I thought Usmanov was just sanctioned by the EU, not Britain, unless I'm wrong.
I'm not certain, to be honest, because I did hear about
Okay,
sanctions.
yeah.
Maybe I didn't go far enough with that. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I think
case by case. First is case by case,
right.
and secondly, the EU has already imposed sanctions. They have already taken action. We are not in the EU, so any decisions by the EU does not affect us.
Right. So maybe I'm wrong there in saying that Usmanam has already been sanctioned, but I think that the UK is still exploring who they're going to, and I'm sure Roman would have gotten word about what their intentions are. They would have told him already. And the reason why he's selling his assets and he's selling the club is not because he's just I'm just over this. It's because he's feeling that the sanctions are coming. Like that. We can't ignore that. That's what it is.
The walls are closing in, isn't it?
It's just you're waiting for it to happen, and they're giving you the leeway to make the moves necessary to so that you're not. But the funny thing is, with this whole thing, like, yes, obviously Roman is an owner that we could look to as a marvel in terms of ownership and what he's done for Chelsea and in the UK in general. But also, this is not the first time that he's been looking to sell the club. I know it wasn't really a serious look, but back in 2018, 2019, he was working with, I think the company's called Rain in the US, who help find big buyers and whatnot. And that's why that Bully guy, that's when he was initially trying to inquire about buying Chelsea, because the feelers were out there. So as much as we don't want to believe it, this was still in the making for some time. Like Chelsea he was looking to, walk away from Chelsea for some time. Maybe it's because, they revoked his EU business visa and whatever. He was seeing it as a unsavory climate to operate correctly in. But for whatever reason, this is not the first time we've heard that Roman was looking to move the club or sell the club.
Just one comment, two comments actually. Here by Luke Mudway, he says, on another point, I think we are replenishing the youth setup with. We've signed a few under 18 players recently, 2 under 16s from West Brom. Correct, we have done, and we have got some good players, coming up through the ranks. So we are definitely, we are definitely still strong when it comes to the Cobham and the academy and what can come through there and what we have brought into there in regards to young talent. So that is definitely a good point. And here, Wally is saying Labour MPs, I think you mean, want Roman to be sanctioned. The only person that wants him, you're talking about Chris Bryant. I think it's Chris Bryant. Him and what's the name of the Labour Party leader? I forgot the name. Gabriel mentioned him yesterday.
Keir Starmer.
Yeah, Starmer. Yeah. They are the two that I've heard really pushing hard for Abramovich, and they're pushing hard for him in particular. That is an issue. Is it true that we're playing Middlesbrough in the FA Cup? Has it been?
Yeah, it's been confirmed. Yes.
Yeah, it is confirmed.
Oh, fantastic! That's the giant killers. Alleged giant killers. Alleged giants.
Third time unlucky.
Go on, Gabriel.
No, we're saying the giant killers, but third time unlucky. Meaning they beat Man United, and I thought it was Arsenal, but it was Spurs apparently. So third time.
Spurs.
Yeah, they meet Chelsea.
Man United. Yeah.
Arsenal got knocked out by Nottingham Forest.
Arsenal and Leicester, I guess.
I wanna say something in regards to the game yesterday, because I really didn't watch much of it. I mean, I saw it; it was in front of me, but my mind was elsewhere. We were lucky. We were lucky yesterday. And it was. I mean, I actually got to say, congratulations for the boys for getting the win under those circumstances. Wow.
I just think that we didn't really have the tactics at that game. I thought we just won with individual quality. You know, like we had better players, and those better players, you know, gave us a couple moves here and there, and we were able to win based on that. But, you know, in terms of the game itself, we just got through it. It wasn't really any sort of like spectacular display of football at all, you know, like. So
yeah, but it's Eric. Couch. It's two things. It's the timing of the statement that came out literally an hour before the game kicked off.
Yeah.
That would have rattled everyone.
Absolutely.
And Thomas, I mean, I think the person who got rattled the most was Thomas Tuchel, because I think he forgot what position some of the players played, man. I mean, seriously, some of his positioning, man, some of his team selection, I don't know.
Crazy, yeah, I agree.
No, to be honest, though, look, you know, put it into context, like you said, you know, the breaking news that Roman was finally going to sell. It's an FA Cup tie away to a sort of rough and ready sort of championship, I think, team. You know, to be honest, we should be grateful that we didn't lose that. You know, I know the performance wasn't that great, and you know, so we're through to the next round. We're going to play Borough. Hopefully Tuchel is going to get a domestic cup, with Chelsea. So.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys think there is an opportunity or there's a possibility that Roman Abramovich could come to the UK to bid farewell?
No.
I mean, you should have said to come to the UK at all. Like, when is the last time he came to the UK?
A month ago. He was here a month ago.
I mean, he came in and left, though, right? He didn't stay.
He stayed for a good 10 days.
No, that's a holiday. That's like a visit. He's not allowed to stay anything, you know, substantial.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because
he probably would like to visit, right? The stadium and
what I'm thinking is, if we were to get to the FA Cup final, would he be allowed to make that his farewell at Wembley Stadium?
Not if he's been sanctioned, that's for sure.
That's the thing. Because
I
actually want that to happen. I want Roman Abramovich to actually be able to bid farewell to the fans, like he said in his statement. I actually want to see the opportunity given.
Yeah, me too.
It's not going to happen, most likely. But the thing is, you mentioned the final. These players are better, you know. If you want to, you know, conspire to, you know, lose a game in this competition, it's better to just get knocked out by Borough. That's what I said. You know, same thing with Luton. Just lose to Luton. It's better.
Why?
Because I cannot I don't know if Chelsea gets to a third FA Cup final in a row and we conspire to lose. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. Honestly, it's getting really tired. I'm tired. It's getting difficult to. How many finals have we lost now in a row in England?
4.
It's getting too much now.
Is it 4 or 5? 4?
I think it's 4, right? So, yeah, we need to. The next final we get to, the next domestic final has to be a win. It has to.
Hang on, who is it? We've got Leicester, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Who else?
No, Arsenal are out of the FA Cup.
No. The finals that we've lost, because we lost to Leicester City last year.
So since we
Arsenal before that, we lost the final this year to Liverpool.
I'll break it down for you.
City in the cup.
The last time we won
City
was 2018, right?
Yeah.
So 2019 we lost to City League Cup final. 2020 we lost Leicester FA Cup final. 21
Arsenal.
2020 was Arsenal. 2021 was Leicester. And then obviously 2022 is Liverpool in the League Cup final.
In the Cup final.
Yeah.
Varana says here, Champions League final farewell. Varane, to be honest, he's got better chance of attending a game in the UK than he does in Europe. So I think if he's anywhere in Europe, he could be, or he may not be allowed to travel to Europe. I don't know. I'm not sure what his situation is right now.
I mean,
But you know what? He has a Portuguese passport. He has an Israeli passport as well as a Russian passport. So he's a European Union member citizen. So I'm not sure how this is gonna work out, man. I mean,
I'm sure he can find. They have ways. They know how they'll get around. But obviously England have made things very difficult for him.
Yeah. France, we'll see.
Where's the final move again? I forgot.
Yes,
France. It's in France.
He's
It's
not
Paris.
getting to France, man.
No.
Yeah. France is the situation. All right. People in the chat. You know what? I have a feeling. All right, 63. All right. I have a feeling some of you guys haven't hit the like button because I've got 63 likes. There's 54 of you. I doubt all of you have hit that like button. Cash, do you reckon they've all hit that like button? What do you think?
Of course not, man. What do you mean, man? You know how these people are. I don't even know if I hit it. So.
No, seriously, guys, do me that favor. Hit the like button, and also in the chat, tell me if you are fans of my pre-recorded videos as well as my streams, because I put a poll out a few weeks ago in regards to what content you guys like. Not a lot of you actually voted in that poll, but those of you who did, it seemed to be more of a live stream type of content that you guys prefer. But I'm actually thinking of going to videos. So do you guys enjoy watching videos? I mean, I know you're here because of the stream, but do you guys enjoy
I voted
watching?
for both, actually, in that poll.
You did? Fantastic. Thank you. Because I mean, in a couple of months, I will not be able to stream for an entire month because I'll be fasting, and I'll be opening my fast during these kind of hours. So it'll be hard for me to be streaming. So I'll be doing more pre-recorded videos. But I want to know if you guys like pre-recorded videos as well as live streams. Not only live streams. Ilyas, we're not going to be mates in Ramadan. We're not going to be mates. I won't be here in Ramadan. I like both to be honest. I don't know about the poll, but I prefer any. Fantastic, Wally. Thank you for telling me. Guys, because live streaming is sometimes it can be problematic because, especially after a breaking news story like yesterday, it gets you rattled, it gets your emotions up, and sometimes it gets a little bit of a. Look, John Arnold, I'm serious, man. I need to know where you're from. Because you speak French. I think you might be Algerian because you I got a feeling. John Arnold, tell me where you're from, man. Tell me where you're from. Do you know my outro, my Aisha song, guys? John Arnold, he literally puts all the lyrics to the song with the outro every time I stream. So, North African.
I noticed.
You noticed,
yeah.
It's brilliant. It's beautiful. So, Spanish. What did I say?
Mandarin
and English as well. Okay, you can speak those languages, and you speak Arabic. I'm assuming.
Wow, you speak Mandarin? That's interesting,
crazy.
Man.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. That's a good one, though. That's a good one.
What about recorded streams, Mo?
Recorded streams, like premieres,
recorded streams and then posted as premieres.
Yeah, I could do that. I could possibly do that. Yeah. But I just don't see the entertainment value of a stream unless it's actually live, when you can actually interact with people in the comment.
Yeah, that is definitely the best way. But I would say
Yeah.
the recorded stuff it still holds value because people just like to, like what I'm doing right now. I'm working. I'm just listening to what you guys are saying. Like I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But just keep
I do that a
going.
lot. Yeah, I do that a lot. I mean, there's a few YouTubers that I watch their streams. I always watch their streams afterwards, and I listen to it in the background, like I'm eating, I'm working out or whatever, and I'm listening to their streams.
Hang on
So
a
I do
minute.
that as well.
You're eating and you're working out. The two don't go together, bro.
No, I said when I'm eating or working out. So
Okay.
can you see that? I got my bench over there. To be fair, I haven't touched it in a week. Because I had a tooth taken out, and they told me I can't do anything that will put too much stress on my body, and because it might just pop the whole thing back open again. So hopefully I'll be back to working out next week. Courtney says live streams. Courtney, I think you're a Jamaican brother.
That's right.
If I remember correctly.
Rude boy.
People in the chat. You know, today is a mellow stream, so let me get to know you guys better. Tell me where you're from. I want everyone to tell me where they're from. In the chat, let me hear it. So I know Courtney is Jamaica. I know.
Big up.
I think Verana, I think, is Southeast Asia. I think. I'm just trying to remember. Let me know where you guys are from. Tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're from and where you are. So if you're Jamaican but you're living somewhere else, let me know. You know where you're from and where you are. Like for example, I'm Iraqi Brit and I'm currently in London. So that's where I'm from. Let me know. Big up, Wood Boy. Courtney.
English, Irish, Arabic, living in Monaco.
Seriously, I thought all this time I thought you lived in the north of England.
Who's that?
Gabriel.
Oh no.
Respect.
Gabriel the boat, man. The boat.
No, I live in Berkshire.
I know. No. I was going to say Gabriel is doing one of them ones where like I'm going to say a statement, 3 things, two are true and one is a lie. That's a lie, man. I'm not in the All right. So Jamaican living in Canada.
Hello.
Jamaican living in Canada. I got one of those. my man. The couch critic.
So Courtney, man, you gotta when things get good. I Bobby. I know Bobby Fairview because we met at the Chelsea supporters group in Toronto, and we actually shared a drink together, if I'm not mistaken. So I know Bobby.
You met him.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
I mean, we don't get to see him, so I wasn't sure if it was the same person. But yeah, we met at the bar where we go and congregate as Chelsea supporters. This is like years ago, though. And yeah, so Courtney, man, if you're ever around in the T-Dot area, man, reach, man. Well, I'll we'll make a plan to go down and have a drink and shout out the Chelsea people, them, So yeah, look, there you go, Bobby. See what I'm saying?
Born in Chelsea and Westminster Hospital.
That's right. It was
Papa
my birthday.
Chelsea.
That was my birthday. That's true. That's right. I remember that.
Listen. I got one niece. She was born in Chelsea Hospital as well, and my brothers used to go to Westminster High School. So same ends. Chelsea life. Same ends. I'm Nigerian living in South Africa. Big up. Bobby Fairview. We did indeed, my man. Yep, it's the same man, same brother. Same brother. Yeah, I saw the Chelsea supporters in Toronto. Pimlico. I know them ends. East London. Yeah, but you're an Arab, brother. You're an Arab, Machiavelli. I know you're an Arab. So East London, but where you from originally? I think you told me one time. Is it North Africa? I think he said. I know you speak Arabic, Machiavelli. Machiavelli, by the way, one of my first, I think, 100 subscribers. One of the OGs on the channel. One of the OGs, one of the OGs, Machiavelli. Yemen, sorry about that, I forgot. Yeah, you told me. You're from Yemen. Yeah, I remember now. Big up to you, Machiavelli. Big up to you. J25, Indian living in Oman. Seriously? تتكلم عربي?
Yes, I live in Oman. It's just to study, man.
تتكلم عربي? Do you speak Arabic?
No, I don't speak Arabic, but I'm an Indian.
Alright.
So,
Alright, but you need to learn it, man. Because, well, I guess most of them speak English over there, so I guess you're good.
yeah, expats. So,
Yeah, sweet. Nigerian living in Florida. Big up. You know, there's a trend here. A lot of North Americans, few Europeans, some Middle Easterners, Zimbabwe. Oh, Zambian. Sorry, I thought I read it Zimbabwe for something. Zambian. John Ireland, I live in Jubilee. Earls Courts. Yeah, Earls Court is right outside Hammersmith at West London College. No, that's Barron's Court. It's the next stop on the district line. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Earls Court.
Yeah, I used to study in Hammersmith at West London College, which is literally the next stop down. Canada. Big up.
Yes.
All right,
man.
people.
Some Canadians up in the house.
Bad
Yes,
Canadians. Listen, you know what? They tell me that the time I stream is really good for North America. So I didn't really actually think of it like that. And Worldwide Chelsea says that the timing plays a big part in regards to who's actually watching.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's the time difference, Couch?
5 hours, so it's 4 o'clock.
Oh,
here
okay,
now. Yeah. So and it's funny too, because when Gem streams, if I jump on Gem stream in the morning, it's 8 in the morning for me over here. And it's probably good for you guys, because what would it be, 1 o'clock or something like that?
Yeah.
Gem streams on 12:45. Yeah, just
Yeah.
before 1. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that probably works out for him in a different way, but yeah, I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
no.
So,
I haven't.
Couch, does that mean you don't sleep then, brother? Yeah?
No, my kid gets me up early, B. I'm not gonna lie, I'm up early, so it doesn't even matter. I try. I'm not like these guys. Some of these men here, they can go all I sometimes I see Mo's online, 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, Star, you don't sleep, man. I can't do that, man. I have to sleep for at least 6 hours, man. Mikhail, another Toronto man, nice.
Yeah, another Canadian. One of the OGs, I have to say. Mikhail,
Nice.
one of the OGs. Yeah, one of the OGs on the channel. The thing is this. I know a lot of my subscribers in respect to when they actually became part of my journey. Especially the ones that interact. I mean, I know there's a lot of subscribers who subscribe, don't comment. I don't see them, but they're watching my content. But then there's subscribers like Mikhail. I mean, Mikhail would comment on every single video that I would publish, and he would give me his thoughts and opinions, agree or disagree, and we would have a conversation in the comments. This was before I was streaming, before any of that. We'd have a conversation in the comments, and that's how I got to know Mikhail. And then when I started streaming, he'd be coming on. I mean, I really enjoy interacting with my subscribers, because I think. This content is for them, and if I know that they're enjoying my content, then I know I'm doing the right thing. And if they don't enjoy it, then I'll have to address it and I'll have to change it. Mikhail gave me a lot of pointers, a lot of feedback. I appreciate that. I'm Zambian and I stay in Zambia. Thank you. What is this question? Mo, how do you have so much time streaming? I don't have to. I don't. I stream at this time is because this is the only time I can actually stream. Because I do everything else before this time. Work, family, all my responsibilities. I get them all done, and then I give my evenings to you guys whenever I can. And sometimes, I've got other things I want to do, but because of what's happening in the world of Chelsea, I'll decide to put those things aside for a day or so, and give the time for the breaking news and whatnot. I was not planning to do a regular stream yesterday. Yesterday was all about a watch along, nice and relaxed. But then that breaking news came on, and I had to do a proper stream. But we make time for the club that we love. It's our Chelsea community. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what Chelsea communities build, man. But so. What did you guys? I don't know if we got into it. I don't know how you guys. Did you guys like seeing Ruben play in the center of defense last night? Anyone?
I have to be honest. I wasn't really paying attention to the match too much.
Yeah. The bits I saw, I wasn't really too impressed, and just the notion of him playing there is not appealing to me either. Yeah. Like he's a central midfielder, man. Like that guy shouldn't be playing anywhere near the center of defense, especially in the cup. You can just bring up one of the kids, man. Let one of the the academy kids just jump in there and play in that role. You're grooming them for that, anyways, right? Maybe I don't know. I didn't like it. That Tuchel makes some questionable decisions yesterday in terms of like playing staff, but we move.
I gotta say this though. Saul got a shot on him. Look, Mikhail. I don't know if you watched our deadline day stream. The last, not this one, the one before that. We were all about Saul Niguez and what a shot he has on him from far and all that kind of stuff. And it's taken him a long time to do it, man. And against Luton, look, Saul Niguez. He has the talent to be a fantastic player. However, not in the Premier League, not at that level. We've given him opportunities. He's shown bits of of good form, good touch. In the Champions League, he's done a little bit as well, but he's not the level that we want to keep. And for his price, for his wages, I'm sorry, but I can't see Saul. I'm glad he scored. I was really happy to see him score that goal because we needed it, but at the same time, he deserved it. I think he deserves to have a goal like that. So
everyone needs a moment in the shirt, man. You need a moment to claim, even if it's Luton Town, man. You need one of these like moments that said like, yes, I've arrived as a Chelsea player. I've scored a goal for this club. And. It was good to see him score, but I mean, and he's probably the most influential midfielder when you think about it, because Jorginho was not looking too good. He was not looking too good from my limited viewing of the game. I was not impressed at all. But of the midfield, and I think that a midfield should always be functioning in tandem, right? You should never have one guy excelling above the other. They should be dovetailing off each other all match long. And Jorginho just looked off it yesterday, but Saul Niguez basically. I don't like that midfield partnership. I'm just going to say that flat out. I don't like that midfield partnership, man. That does not make sense to me. But we move.
As you were talking, I just remembered about our big money signing and his celebration.
Oh yeah, did you see him and Mason Mount in like unison doing the same fist pump and the "come on" together? Hilarious.
It's good to see him smiling. It's good to see him smiling.
Let's see if I can find it actually. Who posted it? Was it Lawrence? Yeah, probably. It's hilarious.
About Ruben, the clips I saw, because obviously from last night we was all fixated with something else. There did seem to be that sort of powerhouse movement. That sort of Yaya. Is it Yaya Toure? Yeah, Yaya Toure. The way he carries the ball and he runs and he just brushes players off. And it's a shame that it's not quite worked out with Ruben because of injuries and whatnot. But that's the
yeah.
There was a few moments that was like, wow, this guy can play, you know.
Yeah. Look, for me, that's the kind of player I thought Ruben was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as he was. You know, this is from the Sarri days. That's the kind of image I had for Ruben. You know, in the future, before the injury. And I think if it wasn't for the injury, you know, he could have been one of the best midfielders in English football, because, you know,
he was in England, the English squad them times too, right?
He was, yeah. He played in the World Cup. You know, he was an important member of the team, but didn't quite pan out.
I mean, injuries are you know, an injury like that is serious, and that's why I don't really get on guys like Ruben and Callum for form and whatnot, because those two injuries were serious injuries, and to get back to where you were takes an incredible amount of work. But because these guys are so young, you know, they were so young in their football career, it's not about like trying to get back to where you were. It's about trying to kick on to get back to where you were and kicking on, because you know you have your whole career ahead of you. And right now, both of them are just struggling to get back to where they were. You know, that's the difference right now. So I have lots of time for those two. I understand that the fan base ain't really having it, because they're like, oh well, they should be doing this. Oh, this, that, and the other. I'm not necessarily of that opinion. I think that, like, especially when you're playing guys out of position all the time, like, when was the last time you seen Callum play consistently in his role on the left flank, you know, as a number 10 coming off the left flank? You just don't see him there often enough, you know. Probably towards November. In November was when he got a little bit of run of form, because we had a bunch of injuries, right? And, you know, same with Ruben. Like, I want to see Ruben as a number 8, man. He should never be playing as a center back. You know, that I don't ever want to see that again. Like, he doesn't have the defensive acumen to think the game defensively, you know, like he's a midfielder, you know. Just, yeah, you guys know I declared this guy never sleeps. I'm telling you, right now, this guy never sleeps. All right.
Good morning, declared. Welcome.
Good
day, mate. Good day, mate. Hey, listen, Couch. I never actually saw it from that angle.
Which one?
It is, you know,
the celebration. Yeah,
Mount and Lukaku. It's like synchronized diving or swimming or like proper good, man. Proper. I mean, I'd show it, but I think it might be copyrighted, so I don't want to put it on the screen. But yeah, go check it out, guys. You know, go check it out. I don't.
You know, going back to what Couch said, it goes back to the issue of continuity of management. I think that's what we've suffered with for many years, because we've chopped and changed managers, you know.
Good point. Is it suffering or is it progress? Because the Chelsea, because look, no other club did it the way we did it. No other club sacked a Champions League winner the following season. No other club sacked a Premier League winner, FA Cup winner the following season. All right, Chelsea do that. You know, for you to be safe in your job at Chelsea, you got to be some next level. You know, like Champions League, Super Cup, and World Club Cup, and then your job is still not safe. You get me? So
yeah, but it's not so much that; it's more the playing staff. Like we're talking about, like Ruben and and Callum, like these players coming into, you know, new managers all the time and try to reestablish their game again in different roles all the time. I think that's what he's getting at. It's just Ruben is always being played. I remember when Sarri played him. Sarri played him in his actual position. But I mean, like Conte played him as a shadow striker. You know, he's played all over the pitch. When he went out on loan, he's playing on the left wing.
Flip side, Rudiger was not utilized properly. Now he is. So
True.
You know, you can. I mean, I agree. You know, so sometimes that change could make a performing player, you know, lose his form, and it could also have a underperforming player get into his form.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think, but I think consistency is the key, and if we are going to do that with Tuchel, but the problem is this. Let's address this bit. Regardless of what happens now, if we get a new owner within a month or within a couple of weeks, Do you guys think that these players that are about to, what's the word here? The contracts are about to expire. Are they going to extend? I mean, do you think it's you know? I mean, Rudiger. I can't see him extending anymore.
I mean, it depends on the succession plan, but you're right. That's a murky
Difficult,
situation.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that like Azpilicueta and Christensen had already made their plans to move on anyways. But with Rudiger, I was of the opinion that after that Club World Cup win, the way he was pretty much man of the match, the very next thing would have been Roman be like, yo, we can't let this guy go. Just give him what he needs. Let's sign him up, because that's how Roman's done things in the past. He's just been like, we can't let you go. I'm getting this done. We're getting this done. I figured that was what was going to happen. But
could it be his parting gift to Chelsea Football Club by getting him to sign now? Like, what do you want? Oh, give me 3. Yeah, here's 4. Yeah. Where are them ones?
Well, it's not my money anymore, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think that ultimately this is going to be murky, not just with the playing stuff, but the one thing that I'll say this too, and I guess the two go hand in hand. The only thing that I kind of want to see changed from this, like the whole Roman regime, is just like I want to see a manager get time to, put together their plan, their vision, and be backed. Like too often under Roman. Obviously we won a lot of trophies, and that's probably a byproduct of the fact that we always have that new manager bounce. But I really want to see somebody get the opportunity to build a squad and, have longevity at a club that is backing them. That's the only thing that I think Roman kind of wasn't great at, like giving people the opportunity to really work their plans. But at the same time, who's to say that wasn't the reason why we were so successful?
Yeah. Where you been, mate? DJ Sav. Big up Mo, Couch Critic, Gabriel, and Eric Blue. Big up DJ. Listen, if you got internet, jump on.
Yeah, for real, man.
You got to caveat it. If you have internet, jump on, because I was like, DJ, man, seriously, man, sort your internet out, man. Sort it out, brother. Huh?
You triggered me. Couch, I was going to say you triggered me.
How so?
I was going to say Couch triggered me, but in a positive way.
How so? Speak on it.
No, in the sense that sometimes, because again, I'm an ideas man, but I'm too lazy to follow through ideas, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I've thought about doing documentaries, let's say, without it sounding grandiose, in terms of if we were to microanalyze the Roman Abramovich era.
Mm-hmm.
And I alluded to it earlier when I was being devil's advocate, that yes, a lot of success and everything, but was it also a lot of missed opportunities in terms of where we could have been had managers been, more consistent, or if investments were made
given more time, like
certain areas.
and
exactly, yeah. So maybe it will be, obviously now it's a bit of a raw subject, and it's probably going to be ripe for a lot of, the fan base baiting or whatever. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's, maybe in 10 years time, on reflection, you could think, all the amazing things that happened, but was it also a missed opportunity in so many different avenues?
I don't think it was a missed opportunity with Di Matteo. I don't think that he was the right guy for the job at the time. It's just they had to give it to him just because he was able to galvanize a squad. But there goes my camp. There goes my lamp. Anyways, he was able to galvanize.
I wasn't even thinking of.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying in general. Like,
no, not at all,
I know, but I just
had to throw that
out there.
When you micro,
because Scolari, another one,
yeah.
not a missed Grant, not a missed opportunity there. Jose
Mourinho.
Jose he wanted it though too. He wanted to, spread his wings and fly all over Europe and stuff like that. So it was part and part his desires as much as it was the, Roman being like, okay, I think I've seen enough right now, so there's that. The only real, when we think about the managerial merry-go-round, like the one that really sticks out is Carlo Ancelotti, and that's really it for me. Like Conte, I guess, just in terms of the way he came in, just swashbuckled his way to the title, 10th to 1st. Had they backed him the next year, what would have happened then? I don't know.
Conte for me is a big problem because he has shown. I mean, after he's since he left Chelsea, he's shown he's a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, Spurs are Spurs. We can't really take that as a sign of anything. He's there with his back against the wall and his hands tied behind his back and with his eyes blindfolded, and that's what it is, managing Spurs. But for me, it's more of what's the word here? It's more of the not the players, not the management, but the direction the club was moving into, and the way that it was handled from the PR standpoint. We speak a lot on this channel about different organizations, media, and whatnot, and how they despise Chelsea. I think that maybe we as a club could have done a little bit more to try to improve that or to work on that, rather than I'm not a media person. I'm not a marketing person, but I think there are ways that you can do it. I mean, we did do a lot of good things for the community. We did do a lot of charitable work, but it was seen as we're doing this because it's Roman trying to sweeten his image because Putin and whatnot, rather than Chelsea. I think maybe one of the problems we had with Roman, and again, everyone knows how much I have, how much love I have for him and how much respect I have for him, but maybe it was more about Roman than it was about Chelsea, and maybe it could have been more about Chelsea than it is about Roman. Like Chelsea is doing this rather than Roman Abramovich is doing this, and maybe that would have made it a little bit more attractive and made it a little bit more nicer for the media to, like the hospital, the foundation, the helping the nurses, helping the staff, giving them. I mean, he not only gave them access to the hotel, but he paid people to look after them, while they were in the hotel and whatnot. So
I think
public relations is a catch, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I think that comes with single ownership, right? Like he's the figurehead of the club. I'm in Toronto, and like the Leafs, the hockey team here used to be had single ownership, and then they went to more of a faceless, blameless consortium or whatever, and the conversation shifted immediately. It went from being about this particular owner, Harold Ballard, and it became about this group, right? And I think that's something that we have to be cognizant of too. Like these faceless organizations and stuff like that. If you don't have somebody to put the vitriol towards or adorn, like faceless. That's the one worry I have with a consortium too. I want somebody that's accountable for this club. And right now, even back then, like you remember, everyone blamed Emanalo because Jose was fired, because he was the one that was put in front of the camera and stuff like that. Like, oh man, it's his fault. Palpable discord. Get rid of him. Like, why is he here and Jose gone? All of that stuff is what I'm talking about. You need somebody that's going to be accountable for the actions of the club, and that doesn't change. I'm hoping that doesn't change when we have this potentially this group, this consortium coming in. I want a face for the organization or the club too. I want to have a face. I want somebody to say, this is our owner, not just like a symbol or something like that, or the name of some sort of like consortium group.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not
You
much
want to say
to
something,
add to
Eric?
that, really.
No.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I agree. Like you were saying, it's just it's more of a direction. It's not necessarily that sacking the managers was a wrong thing to do. It's more that we didn't really know exactly what the plan for the future was. We didn't know the clear direction we're trying to move in. We knew the general things, right? We knew that we wanted to be the best. We wanted to be ambitious, but we didn't have a clear football philosophy. There wasn't a clear goal. It was just okay. So Ancelotti, Mourinho, it's just Conte, Sarri. These are very different. Every one of these managers have a different style. So that was the main concern for me, because it's not just about I don't really have an issue with sacking managers, especially when they've proven that, they can't be the options long term. But yeah, it's more about the structure and what the club is trying to do.
All right, look, it's been a good conversation, a good discussion. Anybody who is currently in the chat who hasn't hit the like button, I'm going to ask you for the very last time to hit that like button. If you are new, subscribe to the Blue Lounge. I will be posting more pre-recorded videos moving forward. Tomorrow, the match preview will be pre-recorded. I'm still not sure if I should use the green screen behind me, as you can see it there, or I might just do it in the car. But I will be doing my my next upload pre-recorded. My match review will also probably be pre-recorded. I may be doing 1 or 2 streams a week moving forward. 1 or 2 streams a week, depending on the situation. But I am going to focus a little bit more on pre-recorded content. Listen. You didn't have to put a super chat. If you had just put that in there, I'd have still highlighted it, because yeah, I feel you, and I agree with you. It's not about American owners specifically. It's about the American. We spoke about this yesterday. Me and I think this was yesterday. Or was it today, Couch? I think it might be yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, about I mean, I have nothing against American owners. It's just I have something against people who would not know anything about the sport, and that could be English owners. It could be Arab owners. I want whoever is going to come into the club, he knows football, he knows ball. Or it's at least looking to learn. And will allow us to teach him, the fans, the club. But I get your sentiment, and I get your super chat. So thank you for that super chat. The fact that you've paid with US dollar, I'm assuming you're actually American, because so big up for that. Guys, it's been a good stream. Worldwide Chelsea, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you on earlier today. If you're still watching, hopefully we'll do this again sometime in the future. I will see you guys in my video tomorrow, and in a stream at some point next week, hopefully with some better and some good news. Couch Critic, thank you. Eric Blue, thank you. Gabriel, thank you. And everybody else in the chat, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good night, lads. Good
Peace.
night.
Peace.